Hey, Sanji Gay again. Woof woof. Totofu. That was my award-winning tweet. Oh, God. People just love it. It went viral. It went viral. So what else is happening? So the other thing that we're really digging right now, the Fag Stag and I, and the cutting edge in New York City, the cutting Tea Party edge in New York City, I'm enjoying a series of documentaries. I may have mentioned them before, that I was turned on to by Michelle Bachmann, called How Shall We Then Live, by Francis Schaeffer, who is a conservative Christian intellectual who made a series of films. I think it was a book first, and then it became a series of films. And it's a fascinating Christian conservative view of history. And he's an intellectual, and I believe he was an art historian. I don't think he's alive still. The films are made in the 70s, and fortunately, they're all on YouTube. They offer a fascinating counterpart, an alternative view of history than what we're accustomed to. And every single one of them, I watch and I have to digest them, and we discussed on the Fag Stag and I. One of the things one of the episodes I watched recently was the second one, which is about the Dark Ages, and it was fascinating in that it showed that Protestantism is basically just as old as Catholicism, that the roots of Protestantism was there immediately. The fascinating thing was about how the Dark Ages weren't dark. In fact, it was actually the birth of secular thought, and that the conflict between secularism and the church is ancient. I mean, it's old. That's one of the fascinating things, both from learning about the history of political correctness and watching this series of films. We have this tendency in our culture to attribute everything to the 1960s. That's just because of the baby boomers and the demographic and their warped view of history. You know? It's like the kids who didn't know anything about the Titanic. The Fag Stag, by the way, says he was taught the Titanic in school. He said, I don't know what kind of schools they went to, but I learned about the Titanic, and he's in his 20s. I don't know, though. He might be almost 30 now, because we've known each other for a long time. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, all they're taught in the schools now is Howard Zinn. All the teachers focus on is that Columbus is a slave trader, and the Pilgrims put germ warfare and the Indian blankets to kill them, and all that kind of garbage that passes for fact these days. If you get a chance, totally change the subject. If you get a chance, you got to check out the video. The actual episode, the audio. I just heard it on Rush Limbaugh. I think they put it up on Breitbart. I think Stephen Bannon just posted a link to it on Breitbart. Rush played the clip from the audiobook of Dreams of My Father, and it has Obama reading it, talking about eating dog and snake and grasshoppers. He must have eaten cats, too. I'm sure he ate cats. And they were talking about eating tigers. And it's so disturbing because, like, you hear the whole thing, and he talks about how his his madrasa, his like Black Panther guardian or whatever, his weirdo, Malaysian terrorist uncle was teaching him that you take on the characteristics of every animal you eat. And so Obama has the powers of a dog, basically. You've got to hear the whole thing. It's jaw-dropping. Oh, my God. Can we talk about Ted Nugent for just a minute? I mean, there's no stopping me, right? Ted Nugent, I mean, he did kind of go a little bit over the top, but that's Ted Nugent. You know, he at that NRA convention, was a little bit over the top. But that's Ted Nugent, you know. And that's his style. And the left is acting like this is such a shocking thing and that they're demanding Mitt Romney apologize for him. You know, and it's like they just got done sidestepping Bill Maher. And remember when they went after Rush? They're always trying to censor people. Remember when they went after Rush? And we were talking about, well, what about Bill Maher? And they kept saying, well, he's just an entertainer. He's just a comedian. You know, Rush is the voice of the Republican Party. He keeps all the people brainwashed. You know, and now so they were defending him. So now that it's our person, and now they're upset about Ted Nugent, who doesn't even have a television show. I mean, I think he had one like about hunting at some point. But I mean, he's a great guy and everything, but he's definitely an entertainer. I mean, Ted Nugent is definitely a rock star. You know, he's not a talking head show person. You know, and he doesn't have a news program. And now they want an apology. You know, they want him, of course, like that'll stop them. Then they want Mitt Romney to apologize for it. Why? He's not affiliated with his campaign, and he didn't even do it at Mitt Romney event. He did it at the NRA. Just more hypocrisy. But see, this is the thing. They're in a state of confusion because we're holding them to their standards. See, so they can't play self-righteous, and eventually they run out of arguments because they're so clearly in the wrong. You can't have it both ways. You know, you can't. They use. Oh God, do you understand what I'm saying? They want Rush Limbaugh taken off the air because he's politically correct. Then they excuse Bill Maher for not following their own rules of political correctness by saying he's an entertainer. Then an entertainer is politically incorrect, and they still want suddenly he doesn't have to be excused. He says, "Oh, that's why you just have to keep hammering them with their own dumb rules." So anyway, there was something else the Fagstag and I were talking about. We're both really into Romney. He's still a little, you know, he's a Ron Paul person. I think he's still he's holding out hope that Ron Paul's going to end up the vice president. And I don't want to burst his bubble too much, you know. I just try to humor him. He's young. He's very young. He's very advanced for his age, you know. But you know, you can only take that so far. You can only take that so far. So apparently a lot of people were really offended by the Twitter thing, and like there were people on the right as well that were just so prissy and hissy, and it's just like, get a sense of humor. Twitter police coming down. Twitter police. Like, what are they going to try to stop us? We'll just go to some new, they'll just be, Twitchy will open up a social thing, and we'll just all go there. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. We were talking a lot about decentralized power, you know, which is why you don't have to suck up to people anymore, you guys. You can have your own damn show. You don't need to suck up to get on someone's show anymore, unless you like them, if you want to, you know. But you can get your voice heard on your own terms. It's something everybody needs to remember and really participate in, you know. Do your own thing, man. We talked a lot about that, how vital it is. And you know who really laid the groundwork for that was Andrew Breitbart. And the reason why it's so effective now is because we have more people. I think that Breitbart saw that I think Breitbart, a lot of his missions in the last years of his life were preparing the right to be technologically savvy, because in the early days, I mean, we always had Drudge, but in the early days, a lot of those people, like the Obama campaign, compare the Obama campaign with the McCain campaign, the Howard Dean people, they were really technologically savvy. And I think that he really enabled, you know, millions of people. And we just outnumber them. So this is going to be huge. I think it's going to be watershed. I think that Mitt Romney is going to be the next president. I just don't see how it's not going to happen now. he's already too far ahead of Obama. At this point, if Obama had a chance, he would still be a little bit ahead of Romney as an incumbent. The fact that Romney is doing so well, and even in liberal polls tying with him, to me reads that Romney's got it. But I also think that we're hitting another revolution. I think that the left, as we know it from the past 100 years, is going to be have to be reformed in a new way or in an old way. But I think that this whole political correct bit, we're onto them, and everything was building up. You know, all of the years of political correctness were building up. It was about social programming to get Obama. I mean, it ended up Obama. It wasn't initially planned to be Obama. I mean, for all we know, maybe it was. To get Obama in there, to get someone like Obama in there. And, you know, we saw the results. Pretty sad. But if it leads to a rebirth of American values, constitutional conservatism, I'm thrilled. Gay people. I'm going to end this with gay people. Those of you who listen to me, I would say throw away, I've said this before, throw away your rainbow flag and get yourself a Don't Tread on Me number, you know. Get yourself a rattlesnake flag, and, you know, you're just as good as anybody else. You know better, though. The fact that you've suffered means nothing compared to what other people have suffered. So get off your cross and join the human race. And be proud you're an American. How about that? Love to everybody. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.